And for our PAT demo, we've still got the same IP addresses. I took everything else NAT related off, except of course inside and outside. And let's go ahead and jump on that. Let's see. We're going to start, of course, with our access list. I like to lead with the things that are most often forgotten. So that way we know they're done. 110. And that's it. And now IP NAT. Let me bring that up just a bit. Inside source, all looks familiar so far. We're still using list. And we have list 5. And instead of going with the pool, which is what we did before, we're going to go with the interface because that's how you overload the IP address that's already in use on that particular interface. I do want to mention, though, that you can overload your pool. We saw that option when we were creating the pool. We really didn't get into it, but you can overload the addresses you have in your pool. What we're going to do is not create a pool, but instead just specify the interface for the global address, which in this case could be any of these. We've got a couple of chestnuts on there. We're not going to use the dialer interface here, obviously. But let's go ahead and use serial 0. And then finally at the end, overload, and lo and behold, there are no other options. So there we go. So is that all we need? What do you think? We've got our inside source list, ACL5. We got that configured. Interface serial 0 is the one we're overloading. Always put that one. Don't put the inside interface. That's another troubleshooting tip for you. I think we're good to go. So what we'll do is go ahead and send a ping here in a moment. I also wanted to show you, well, show you nothing technically. What I did, and we wrote the ACL a moment ago, so that's going to be in here, I cleared these. And you might want to do that in production networks once in a while when you're troubleshooting. It does come in handy also in a lab environment. When you're done with one NAT, you want to go to the other and you want to start over as far as the translations and the statistics go. But I've noticed that very few books or anything else out there, I haven't looked at a lot of them, but I noticed they leave these clear commands off. So I want you to know about these. It's clear IP NAT. And you can clear your statistics or your translation. And I just use the asterisk for, delete all dynamic translation if you're working with dynamic. It's got a couple of options here, but this is how you clear your translation and your statistics table. If you ran statistics, that's the only thing you can do, is just clear your statistics and that's it. That's a good lab command to know. Now, let's go ahead and send our extended ping, 172.12.123.1. We'll send 5. We do want extended commands. 10.1.1.3. And go. So they went across. Let's see what happened, though, with our translation. And notice that our table's a lot bigger this time around because each one of the individual 5 packets was translated to a different port number. Something else to get used to with this, notice you do have outside local and outside global entries this time, but notice they're the same and they are the outside global. They're both really the outside global. It's the only IP address we even have on that other router, 172.12.123.1. So a little different output to get used to there with PAT, but I tell you, this works so flawlessly that you could go years once you've got NAT up and running on a network. And unless you think, hey, I want to look at the translations and the statistics and see how busy we are, you could go a long time without even looking at them. Because you know what it's like? It's like a router on a stick. Once you have it running, everything's gold if you just leave it alone. Other people make changes, then something may go wrong as we discussed. But again, let's run show IP NAT stat. And you can see what we've got. We've got some expired translations already, so those are already gone as far as PAT is concerned. And you'll notice that inside source this time mentions access list 5 interface serial 0. That is your big tip-off right there that you were using port address translation. And we know what's going on with that from that particular illustration. That is it for our discussion of NAT and PAT. Let's move to the next topic. I'll see you there.